Why did you want to come over here first? Don't touch. Well, why'd you want to come over here first?
Because those lines look like the cross, except of the top line.
So this is, I guess, a replication of the Church of the Cave, where the Waldensians would worship in secret.
Said that soldiers in the Inquisition found him worshiping in a cave, and they put a fire there. They put a fire in the cave there, and the smoke would come down and force him out.
Hey, there's no castle.
No, it's just a cave.
Yeah.
This would have been a replication of the original entrance to the actual cave. Yes, Courtney was telling a story about how they were worshiping in the cave, and the cave is actually in the Alps. And they were in there worshiping, and the Inquisition found them, and they built a fire and blew smoke into the cave, which eventually caused them to come out through their tiny hole one by one, and as they came out, they killed them. So this is Barbie College. There's a replication of it. It's a pretty good replication. Apparently they took very many trips into the actual valleys in the Alps to be able to replicate all this stuff in detail. Little fireplace.
Could you imagine this being your college?
I know, right? Tiny flu.
Let's go back outside.
Is it gluten free? I would assume it's plastic.
Yeah.
Tiny doors.
Very tiny. I don't know if we can go in here. It's really shut. Bill, they come here.
Unless someone shut the door behind them.
Well, there's locks on them, so I'm assuming they're for storage.
Yeah.
Now, carefully walk down the steps, okay?
I haven't said 3, but
Why is there so many steps?
well, because the real one's in the Alps, in the mountains. So it would have been like this by necessity. So this is the bottom room of Barbie College. And it's quite a small room, obviously. But I guess this is where the oral tradition of the Gospels was taught. The bottom room here in Valdese, actually, I'm not going to show it on camera, but they're actually displays, not displays, but drawings, historical drawings of how the Waldensians were persecuted by the Catholic Church in various ways. So if you come, it's very educational, but just beware the imagery and the things that it talks about are not for children. So this is a replication of the upper room of Barbie College, the School of the Barbas, which is also what the Waldensians were called. They would have a stone table, little fireplace. This is where young missionaries would learn from experienced pastors the scriptures. They were very zealous evangelists, and when they were declared heretics by the church, they had to do everything in secret. So they started going out under the guise of being traitors so that they could share the gospel. And it was talked about that they could go all the way across Europe and find lodging every single night with a family that the Barbas had won to the gospel. Now, they, on paper, they can trace back to Peter Waldo, a Catholic, who realized the gospel. God won him to the gospel, and he came into the Alps to preach, but oral tradition puts them back to the 1st century, having an oral tradition all the way from the 1st century of the Gospels. Also here, this is where the real one in the Alps is where Robert Olivetan translated the first Bible into French in 1532 to 1535 from the original Greek and Hebrew texts. So a monument, a replication of the monument at Sebald, which was a decisive battle for the Waldensians when they came back to their valleys from Switzerland.
Lexi set in attendance.
9.
That was a school bug. Or a replica of one. What you think? Come on in? Okay.
So this is one of the Beckwith schools. This is where the Waldensians, when they established their community in 1893, came to these schools that were built by one of their English benefactors in the valleys, one of many. Nap time. bookshelf? I think not. You can definitely tell they're from Italy. All the stucco. So this is apparently a replication of the fountain that King Carlo Alberto gave to the Waldensians in honor of such a warm welcome that he received when he visited the valleys. It was in 1844, and then in 1848 he actually signed an Edict of Emancipation, which granted him the same rights as everyone else, that which they had not had for hundreds and hundreds of years. The Waldensians are admitted to the enjoyment of all the civil and political rights of our other subjects, and freely to attend our schools both within and without the university, and to obtain academic degrees. No change, however, is made as to the exercise of their worship in their own schools. Carlo Alberto, King of Sardinia, Duke of Savoy. So this is Tron House, originally built by Pierre Tron, one of the first settlers in the Valdese region. The original house was actually smaller. It was only about 150 square feet, 10 by 15, but a family of 5 lived in a house like this. Jacob Sawmill, erected in 1894. This is how they made their living. Logging and cutting wood. I dare say construction has always been a lucrative business. So Ray 4 house. This is a reproduction of Ray 4 house, but the original still stands on the other side of town, and it combines the barn and the house into one structure. You can't get down.
Can't get up. Do you want some help? Come on, babe. Let's let Daddy in.
Ooh,
I'm kind of loving this.
I dig
Barn
it.
off to the side, upstairs bedroom.
Can we build one like this?
I know, right?
Daddy, I want to show you something about our house.
And it has a porch. I guess it's just pretty awesome. I don't know how many places we've gone to historically, and there actually was a porch on something this age.
Yeah. So apparently the original one actually is on the other side of town.
I saw that.
Like it's still there.
That would be cool to see. Maybe we can drive by and see if we can find it.
Are we supposed to go up the stairs then?
Well, it's not blocked off. So yeah.
Just be very careful. Steps are steep.
Baby steps are steep.
Yeah, they say it's space.
Yeah.
So don't touch.
Mm-mm.
Oops.
Yeah, and that would be where a baby would go. And then some kids would probably sleep over here. This is a pretty I mean, this is a really big space for the tub. I need a bathroom. I need some plumbing.
You know that's staying in the video, right?
Yeah. I need indoor water. Indoor plumbing is one of the greatest inventions. Not going that far back. Oh, that's cool. So they had a community oven. So instead of having it in one
Yeah.
house, they have an oven to everybody.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So this is a replication of a community oven that was built. This is actually a replication of one that actually still exists in Italy. Stick the camera in there for a minute. But they had community ovens originally here and there in the villages. So they would all take turns baking bread in the oven. And here's a story. The original oven here in Valdese, men were too busy to build it. So the women, not wanting to wait on their husbands, went around to the different churches singing French hymns. And within a couple weeks raised enough money to pay 3 masons from the old country to construct their community oven. And on June 20th, 1893, they baked their first loaf of bread, which there's actually, the plaque talks about, there's a journal entry. It says, today for the first time after several weeks of waiting, the colonists succeeded in making bread in an oven. The bread was a great success to everyone's satisfaction, which is considered a blessing of the Lord. They saw it as a day of triumph, for stones of the field had, figuratively speaking, been turned into bread. So this is a war memorial that's dedicated to Waldensians as they fought in each war. So we have Spanish War, World War I, World War II. Korea, Vietnam, and the Gulf. So this is the monument, or the replication of the monument at Chanfran. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but in 1532, the Waldensian Church, in 1532, they met at Chanfran, a grassy meadow on the side of a mountain in the valley of Grogana. And there they took their first stand for the Reformation. This is after 15 years of careful consideration by church elders and laymen whether or not to actually commit to taking back their homeland. The Church of Cayabas. Church at Cayabas, originally built in 1555, was burnt down, destroyed, reconstructed several times, and it still stands today. Go check it out.
Or wherever you're sitting, right?
Yeah, it would. Hey, Bellamy.
Yes.
What you doing?
Just over here.
Slate. Beautiful place.
Can I sing my song? Sing my song real quick.
It's pretty awesome. It's a Waldensian War memorial.